Once upon a time, in the bright and blooming kingdom of Floravel, lived a kind and curious little girl named Princess Bella. She loved two things more than anything: making new friends and talking to flowers. Yes, talking to flowers. Why? Because Bella believed that every flower had a story to tell. While other royals laughed at her, she listened closely and kindly to every rose, tulip, daisy, and daffodil. The day the garden went silent. One morning, Bella rushed into the royal garden, but something was wrong. The flowers weren't dancing in the breeze. They weren't singing their sweet petal songs. They were silent. "Why won't you speak today?" Bella whispered. The sunflowers drooped, the daisies sighed. Finally, a tiny bluebell trembled. "The gardener is leaving. He said we don't matter anymore. No one listens." Bella's big plan? Bella's heart ached. "You do matter, and I'll prove it." That afternoon, Bella invited everyone, the king, queen, villagers, and even grumpy nobles, to a garden concert. She wore a crown made of petals and played her flute beneath the whispering trees. Suddenly, the wind picked up, the flowers swayed, and they sang. Soft, magical music bloomed in the air. The crowd gasped in wonder. A promise for the kingdom. From that day on, the royal garden became a listening garden, where people came not just to see flowers, but to listen to them. Princess Bella became known as the princess who listens, and the flowers never fell silent again.
Long ago, in a peaceful valley surrounded by mountains as high as the clouds, there lived a kind boy named Leo. Leo was poor but cheerful, always helping his neighbors, collecting herbs for the healer, and singing with the birds. He lived with his grandmother, who often told him bedtime stories about a magical horse with a silver mane and wings brighter than the stars. "Remember, Leo," his grandmother would whisper, "the magical horse appears only to the purest of hearts. Whoever rides it can travel to the kingdom of dreams, where wishes come true." Leo always dreamed of seeing that horse, but he thought it was only a fairy tale. One evening, while gathering firewood, Leo heard a strange sound, a soft, melodic whinny, unlike any ordinary horse. Following the sound, he entered the misty forest. There, under the glow of the full moon, stood the most breathtaking creature he had ever seen. A snow-white horse with a flowing silver mane, wings that shimmered like moonlight, and eyes filled with warmth and wisdom. "You are the one I've been waiting for, Leo," the horse spoke gently, for it was no ordinary horse, it could talk. Leo gasped, bowing his head. "Are you the magical horse?" "Yes," the horse replied. "My name is Starlight, guardian of dreams. I have watched your kindness, your bravery, and your heart. Will you ride with me to the kingdom of dreams?" Leo's eyes sparkled. "Yes, Starlight, I will!" The flight to the kingdom of dreams. Starlight spread his mighty wings, and with a single bound, they soared into the sky. The wind whooshed past Leo's face as they flew above the mountains, across sparkling rivers, and through a sea of stars. Soon, a glowing gate appeared in the sky, made of crystal clouds. As they passed through, Leo gasped in wonder. Below stretched the kingdom of dreams, a land where candy trees swayed, rivers of rainbow water flowed, and castles shimmered with diamond towers. Children laughed and played on cotton candy hills. Friendly dragons curled up like kittens, and music floated in the air without instruments. "It's more beautiful than I ever imagined," Leo whispered. But Starlight warned him. "The kingdom of dreams is not just for fun. Everyone who enters must pass a test. Only those who think of others before themselves can remain here." Suddenly, 3 paths opened before Leo. A golden path lined with treasure chests, overflowing with jewels. A silver path filled with delicious foods and sweets. A glowing rainbow path leading into a dark cave where a faint cry for help could be heard. Leo looked at the treasure and food, his stomach growling, but then he heard the soft cry again. "Someone is in trouble," he said firmly, guiding Starlight toward the cave. Inside, they found a small girl trapped under heavy crystal rocks. With Starlight's strength and Leo's determination, they freed her. The girl smiled, and suddenly, she transformed into a shining fairy. "You chose kindness over riches and comfort," said the fairy. "That is the true key to the kingdom of dreams." The fairy waved her wand, and Leo was showered with golden light. She turned to Starlight and said, "This boy has passed the test. From now on, he may ride you whenever he wishes." Leo's heart leapt with joy. Starlight bent down. "Whenever you need me, call my name under the moonlight, and I shall come. Together, we will bring hope and dreams to those who need them most." As dawn broke, Leo returned home on Starlight's back. His grandmother was waiting by the door, smiling knowingly. "I see you found him," she said softly. From that day on, Leo and Starlight became protectors of the valley. They visited sick children, bringing them dreams of laughter. They helped farmers by guiding rain clouds over thirsty fields. They even led lost travelers safely home. And every night, when Leo looked at the stars, he knew he had a true friend in Starlight, the magical horse guardian of dreams.
The castle courtyard transforms into a winter wonderland, draped in snow, as snow's enchanting melody fills the air. With surprising strength, Snow lends her hand to bakers, moving heavy loads of bread across the courtyard. Spotting a shivering villager, Snow's heart melts with compassion as she removes her warm scarf. In a gesture of pure kindness, Snow gently offers her scarf to the villager, providing warmth against the bitter cold. In the opulent queen's chamber, the queen stands before the ornate magic mirror, her regal posture masking a simmering coldness. Her voice echoes with icy command. "Mirror, mirror, bright and tall, who's the kindest of them all?" The mirror responds, its ethereal voice revealing, "The kindest heart belongs to Snow. Her gentle ways now steal the show." A mask of regal composure shatters as jealousy contorts the queen's face, revealing the darkness within. Lost and alone, Snow traverses the dark, snow-laden forest, her fear growing with each step. The huntsman abandons Snow as instructed, leaving her to face the forest's chilling embrace. Snow's expression reflects the terror of her isolation as she wanders deeper into the menacing woods. The camera captures Snow's mounting fear, her every step a testament to her increasing vulnerability. As twilight descends, Snow stumbles upon a quaint cottage, a beacon of warmth amidst the cold. With a hesitant step, she crosses the threshold, entering a world scaled for smaller beings. Inside, a sense of miniature perfection greets her, every item meticulously placed. Exhaustion overwhelms her, and she seeks solace in an improvised bed of chairs. Surrendering to fatigue, Snow drifts into a peaceful slumber, the cozy cottage enveloping her in its embrace. The door creaks open to the cozy dwarf's cottage, a haven after their long day in the mines. The dwarfs' weary faces light up with surprise as they discover Snow peacefully asleep on their bed. After Snow shares her harrowing tale, a wave of warmth and empathy washes over the dwarfs. Jolly, his face radiating kindness, extends a heartfelt invitation. "You're welcome to stay here with us, Snow." The dwarf's cottage transforms into a sanctuary of friendship, radiating warmth and safety. Sunlight floods the dwarf's cottage, turning dust motes into sparkling jewels. Snow, her smile radiant, hums a cheerful tune, stirring fragrant soup. The dwarfs watch Snow with undisguised delight, their weathered faces softened. The once quiet cottage now echoes with warmth and laughter. The air is thick with the comforting aroma of herbs and vegetables. In the queen's chamber, daylight streams in as the queen, disguised as a sweet old woman, carefully examines a shiny, red apple. Her wrinkled hands move with practiced ease, putting the finishing touches on the tempting fruit. She gazes at the apple, a wicked glint in her eyes as she completes her dark creation. With a sinister certainty, the queen whispers, "This will be the end of Snow." The apple gleams, an innocent facade hiding a deadly secret, ready to fulfill its dark purpose. Her transformation complete, the sweet old woman's guise hides the vengeful queen, poised to strike. Before the dwarf's cottage, an old woman, malice in her eyes, confronts Snow White. The woman tempts Snow White with the apple. "Just one bite, dear. It's magic." Snow White hesitates, then reaches for the gleaming fruit. Snow White takes a bite, and then collapses. In the hushed heart of a snowy glade, the dwarfs gently lay Snow White in a crystal bed. A young prince wanders into the glade, his eyes mirroring the winter's serene beauty. He kneels beside Snow White, his breath misting in the frigid air, a whisper of grief escaping his lips. Such kindness should never fade. He lifts the piece of apple from Snow White's throat. Snow White awakens. The stillness of the glade is broken as Snow White awakens, signaling the end of the curse and the dawn of a new day. Snow and the prince ride into the village, where joyous shouts fill the crisp air. The village erupts in cheers as Snow and the prince approach. Far away, the queen's magic mirror abruptly shatters, its power broken. Life flourishes anew as Snow and the prince build a cottage near the dwarf's dwelling. And so, Snow and the prince lived amongst the villagers and dwarfs, spreading kindness throughout the land.
Once upon a time, in a kingdom filled with blooming gardens and sparkling rivers, a joyful baby princess named Aurora was born. The whole kingdom celebrated with music, dancing, and colorful flowers. 3 kind fairies came to give her magical gifts. Fairy Rose gave her the gift of beauty. Fairy Melody gave her the gift of a sweet voice. But before the 3rd fairy could give her gift, an uninvited, grumpy fairy named Thorn appeared. Thorn, upset about not being invited, cast a spell. When Aurora turns 16, she will prick her finger on a spinning wheel and fall into a deep sleep forever. Everyone gasped, but the 3rd fairy, Fairy Glow, quickly softened the curse. She will not sleep forever. She will only sleep until a kind heart wakes her with true love's kiss. The king ordered every spinning wheel in the land to be destroyed. Aurora grew up happy in a little cottage, cared for by the 3 fairies, never knowing she was a princess. She played with animals, sang in the forest, and dreamed of adventure. One day, just before her 16th birthday, Aurora wandered into an old tower. There, she found a strange spinning wheel she had never seen before. Curious, she reached out Prick and instantly fell into a magical sleep. The fairies placed her in the castle on a soft, golden bed. They spread the spell so that everyone in the castle also fell asleep, and a wall of thick, thorny roses grew around it. Many years later, a brave and kind prince heard the story of the sleeping princess. With courage in his heart, he cut through the thorny vines and found Aurora. Gently, he kissed her hand. The curse broke. Aurora opened her eyes and smiled. The whole castle awoke, and bells rang joyfully across the land. Aurora and the prince became great friends, and later, they ruled the kingdom with kindness and laughter. And so, the princess who once slept for many years lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the sparkling blue waters of Coral Bay, there lived a kind little dolphin named Dela. She loved to swim fast, play with bubbles, and explore hidden caves under the sea. But most of all, Dela was known for being very clever and thrifty. She never wasted anything, not food, not shells, not even shiny seaweed. One sunny morning, Dela's best friend, Toby the turtle, sighed. "Oh, Dela, I wanted to buy a new shell bracelet from the coral shop, but I don't have enough pearls." Dela smiled and flipped her tail. "Don't worry, Toby. Let's go on a thrifty adventure. We'll find treasures without spending a single pearl." So off they swam. First, they passed the seaweed forest, where Dela spotted loose seaweed strands floating around. "Perfect," she chirped. "We can weave these into bracelets. No need to buy new ones." Next, they visited Clam Cove, where empty clam shells lay glittering in the sand. "Look, Toby, these shells are beautiful. Let's polish them and they'll shine like gems." Toby's eyes sparkled. "Wow, Dela, you're right." Finally, they stopped by Bubble Rock, where their friend Ollie the octopus was blowing big, round bubbles. "Would you like some for your bracelet?" Ollie asked kindly. "Bubbles don't cost a thing," Dela laughed. "And they'll make it extra magical." By the time the sun began to set, Toby had a shiny seaweed and shell bracelet, prettier than any he could buy. He hugged Dela tightly. "Thank you, Dela. You've shown me that treasures aren't always bought. They can be found with a little creativity." That night, as the waves rocked them gently to sleep, Dela whispered, "Being thrifty doesn't mean having less. It means making the most of what you have." And with that, the ocean friends drifted into sweet dreams, the stars above twinkling like pearls in the sky.
Once upon a time, in the peaceful kingdom of Arendelle, a glowing iceberg appeared far beyond the North Mountain. But this was no ordinary iceberg. It shimmered with both snow and fire. Queen Elsa sensed a strange magic from it. "It's calling to me," she whispered. Anna, always ready for adventure, grabbed her travel bag. "Then we're going." Together, they set off at dawn with Olaf, Kristoff, and Sven as they crossed frozen seas in a magical iceboat Elsa created. Mysterious storms began swirling above them, snowflakes and sparks of fire rained from the sky. At last, they reached the mysterious place, the island of the snowfire crystals. There, the trees were half frozen, half burning, and glowing crystals grew from the ground. At the heart of the island stood a giant crystal tower, pulsing with light. A strange creature appeared. It looked like a fox made of both fire and snow. "You are the protectors of balance," it said. "But the crystal magic is broken. If the snow and fire don't unite, the whole island will vanish and take Arendelle with it." Elsa and Anna bravely split up to search the island. Anna climbed a fiery mountain to find the Firestone, dodging flaming boulders and using her cleverness to outwit a lava lizard. Meanwhile, Elsa entered the Cave of Eternal Ice, facing icy illusions and solving magical riddles to find the snow gem. Back at the tower, they placed the Firestone and snow gem together into the crystal heart. A magical burst exploded snow swirled with flame, forming a glowing aurora in the sky. The island began to heal, trees blooming with frostfire blossoms. "You did it!" cheered Olaf, sliding on a fiery ice puddle. As they sailed home under glowing skies, Anna smiled at her sister. "I guess when snow and fire work together, amazing things happen." Elsa laughed softly. "Just like us." And so, Anna and Elsa returned to Arendelle, not only as queens and sisters, but as legendary heroes of the Snowfire Island.